Archangel Michael has been trying to reach you for 7 nights because you keep ignoring the signs. Those dreams, delays, and gut feelings weren't random. This is your final warning. Archangel Michael has circled your spirit for 7 nights. He has whispered to your soul when the world went quiet. You heard him in the silence between your heartbeats. You felt him in the stillness right before the storm hit. Those dreams that woke you, he was standing there. Each delay, each detour was divinely designed. But you brushed it off like fog on your windshield. You convinced yourself it was just another strange day. Yet heaven knows when your timeline shifts with purpose. And tonight, the heavens declare, this is your final warning. You walked through 7 days wrapped in sacred signals. A familiar face appearing just when you needed retreat. A song you hadn't heard in years playing out loud. The shiver in your spine at 3:33 in the morning. You kept asking for signs while ignoring the obvious. Michael didn't come in thunder. He came in silence. He didn't come with flames. He came through flickers. And now the flickers are catching fire in your path. This fire is not to harm, it's to illuminate the truth. But you must stop pretending you don't see it. When your gut clenched before that phone call, it was him. When the door closed without reason, it was protection. When sleep wouldn't find you, it was not insomnia. Michael stood guard while your soul wrestled obedience. But your human logic kept fighting divine wisdom. You want control, but the spirit moves in surrender. You crave answers, but the heavens wait for alignment. Michael can't force you to walk, only guide the way. He hath done more than most ever notice in lifetimes. But this delay is no longer about patience, it's rescue. He is not just a messenger, he is your warrior. He has fought for your name in places you can't pronounce. He's tangled with entities that hate your bloodline. He's spoken your name to the throne itself. And still, your trust is tethered to temporary things. Still, your hope rests on people that can't hear your spirit. You keep praying for peace while embracing confusion. You scroll past grace and entertain chaos like company. This final call isn't out of anger, it's out of mercy. Heaven does not warn without love, but love does warn. In the 7 nights, your soul was weighed in balance. Your generational line was examined under sacred light. They saw the burden passed from your grandmother's tears. They saw the covenant your mother never fulfilled. They saw your willingness buried beneath fear and pride. And Michael wept, not out of despair but urgency. You have the capacity to break what's bound you all. But not if you ignore divine signals for the familiar. Not if you keep calling discernment paranoia. The next door you miss may not open again. Type I am blessed to get the blessing 3636. You asked God to speak louder, but ignored his whispers. You said send someone to help, and he sent dreams. You cried, show me what's real, and delays came. You begged for protection, then resisted his barriers. What you called bad timing was sacred intervention. What you called coincidence was celestial alignment. Michael is not coming to comfort you anymore. He's come now to compel you. This is the edge. The edge where comfort ends and calling begins. Where peace is found on the other side of obedience. The number 7 is sacred. It means completion. So these 7 nights were not a coincidence. They were a countdown in the language of heaven. A divine mercy clock ticking down grace's offer. Michael's wings have shielded you from unseen ruin. But you think a gut feeling is just anxious thoughts. You think interruptions are just life being unfair. Child, you've been spared more than you've known. But spared doesn't mean stagnant. It means shift now. Heaven is now pressing its final instruction on your chest. Look at your life. What's repeating itself lately? What loop have you been too tired to untangle? A dream you had with the fire and falling stars. That wasn't fiction. It was foretelling. It was urgent. Michael has stood in your bedroom more than once. But you covered your ears with distraction and noise. It's not too late, but it soon will be. He's not just warning you of loss. He's offering rescue. The next test will not be gentle. It will be divine fire. And only those aligned will survive the purification. This message isn't meant to scare. It's to awaken. You weren't born to live half alive, half aware. You weren't made to trust your fears over your calling. You weren't placed on earth to drift through signs. You are being asked to return. Not to religion, to truth. Not to guilt, to alignment. Not to fear, to awareness. Michael has stood patiently, sword drawn but silent. Now his silence has ended, and your name echoes. The echo you hear in dreams is not your imagination. It's heaven calling one final time. Answer or be bypassed. Type I am rising to get blessing 5678. You've walked through storms that were meant to wake you. Each storm didn't come to destroy, but to disrupt the numb. Michael was behind the wind that pushed away illusions. He was in the quiet afterward, hoping you would see. But you keep rebuilding false things on sacred ground. You make homes in places meant to be passed through. You hold hands with patterns disguised as people. And you expect peace while entertaining spiritual clutter. Michael's wings trembled as he watched you hesitate. Not because you're weak, but because you're chosen. Every time your plans fell through, heaven intervened. A job you didn't get saved your destiny's timeline. That relationship ending unlocked your unseen growth. A delay at the airport stopped a spiritual detour. The spirit has moved mountains while you slept. And now Michael is being released to speak louder. You asked for signs, but heaven is now sending storms. Storms that will only make sense if you stay alert. You are no longer in a season of convenience. You are standing at the intersection of destiny. The seventh night was different, and you felt it. Something in your chest tightened and never left. You felt watched, but it wasn't feared, it was presence. The spirit hovered as you lay awake in question. Michael stood over your bed with tears of command. Not sorrowful tears, war tears of divine insistence. He was sent to press urgency against your stubbornness, to pull your attention back from what numbs your gift. You cannot keep scrolling while heaven is shouting. This is not about belief. It's about obedience now. You were told as a child to ignore the strange feelings. You were taught to be polite even when your spirit screamed. You buried your intuition to be liked and accepted. But Archangel Michael says, it's time to unbury your knowing. You were never meant to be normal. You were marked. Marked to see what others ignore. To sense beyond words. To act when no one else understands the why. And now that gift is awakening again, violently. You feel it in your bones, don't you? That unshakable, unexplainable urgency. Your dreams haven't been random. They've been training. Each one revealing what your eyes couldn't admit. Each one louder than the last, asking for repentance. Not the kind wrapped in shame, but in redirection. The kind that says, this isn't who you really are. Michael came with blue fire in his eyes this time. He held out the scroll with your next instruction. But you rolled over and called it just a weird dream. Heaven isn't waiting for your logic. It's asking for trust. What's coming won't wait for comfort to catch up. Type I am chosen to get the blessing 4242. There are things stalking your bloodline that end with you. Michael has watched them circle since you were born. Your grandmother saw glimpses of this and cried in silence. Your mother carried the weight and wore it as survival. But you were born to be different, for disruption, not tradition. You've always felt the fracture, the sacred resistance inside. Now that fracture is your key, not your flaw. It's what Michael came to reinforce, not remove. He came to show you, you are not broken, you are branded. Branded with holy fire to shift generations. You have a calling too big for small distractions. You can't keep flirting with confusion and still expect clarity. Michael has cleared rooms just to get your attention. He's ended conversations mid-sentence with divine interference. That's why they ghosted you. That's why the deal collapsed. That's why you lost your appetite for what once fed your ego. You're being emptied on purpose so you can be filled with light. And this emptiness is not a curse. It's a divine clearing. Clearing space for obedience, for fire, for truth. You're not being punished. You're being positioned. The enemy has always wanted to delay your timeline. That's why confusion shows up right after clarity. Why you feel heavy the moment you choose alignment. Michael isn't here to stop the attack. He's here to train you. He's showing you that warfare is not chaos. It's clarity. You're not under attack because you're weak. You're attacked because you're awakening. And that awakening breaks every lie you've believed. Every voice that told you to stay quiet is trembling now. Because heaven is turning your silence into thunder. There are angels stationed around your home as you read this. Not metaphorically, literally, spiritually stationed. Because Michael knows what's been watching you, too. Those familiar spirits that pretend to be comfort. But guilt that disguises itself as loyalty to the past. The voice that keeps saying, "Who do you think you are?" Michael is rebuking every one of them tonight. But he needs your agreement. Your yes. Your breakaway. Because freedom can't override free will. You must choose it, even in the face of fear. Type I'm rising to get blessing 5678. You've been trained in suffering but not in surrender. You know how to survive storms, but not how to soar. Michael didn't come to strengthen your struggle. He came to shift it. You've carried weights that never belonged to your name. The enemy tricked you into thinking pain was permanent. But heaven never authorized that conclusion. Each tear was a seed, and now the soil is rumbling. You've been crying for change, but resisting transformation. This moment, this very breath, is heaven's intervention. Michael is commanding your spirit to rise. You feel restless, but that's not confusion. It's calling. It's the sound of your spirit remembering the assignment. Your comfort zone is collapsing for a divine reason. Because your wings don't fit in the rooms you've settled in. Michael has drawn a line in the spirit realm now. Not to punish, but to protect your promise. You can't keep playing small and expect big miracles. Heaven won't bless what you're pretending not to be. The time of running is over. You've been summoned to step into holy territory. Heaven has released dreams too powerful for disobedience. You are a key, living, breathing, and divine. But keys can't unlock anything if they are hidden in fear. Michael knows your hesitation, yet still he returns. Each of these 7 nights, he has come closer, not with judgment but with urgency. He has been trying to enter without forcing, but now the knocking will shake the very walls. You prayed for encounters. This is one. You asked for confirmation. This is it. Stop calling divine alignment bad timing. Stop labeling protection as rejection. You've asked why things keep breaking. It's because you were never meant to build there. Michael has watched you pour into dead soil, and now he's turning you toward fertile ground. But you must let go of what felt safe. Safety isn't always sacred. Comfort can be the devil's leash. Tonight, you're being unchained in the spirit. You will feel dizzy, because spiritual shift causes shaking. Your body may react to the call before your mind agrees. But that's because your soul already knows the truth. Michael's sword is drawn, not against you, but for you. He's cutting ties, soul cords, and dead alignments. You will feel loss, but it's actually release. You're not being punished. You're being purified. The fire isn't wrath. It's refining. The silence isn't absence. It's recalibration. Let the process feel foreign. It's not meant to feel familiar. Type I am awakened to get blessings 7,771. Some of your connections were seasonal, not eternal. But you tried to stretch them beyond their assignment. Michael warned you, but you ignored the friction. Now the friction is fire, and the fire is holy. You must walk away from what heaven never signed. Let them call you selfish. Let them misunderstand. Your soul's survival doesn't need their permission. This path isn't wide. It's narrow and sacred. Only those who obey the whisper can survive the roar. Michael is training you for both. You've been called to break cycles older than memory. That's why it's hard. That's why it feels unfair. But difficulty doesn't mean defeat. It means you're on the front line of deliverance. This battle wasn't random. It found your name. You weren't cursed, you were called. And now heaven is demanding a response. Michael has done what he could from the realm of spirit. But now the earth must agree. And now you must agree. Every closed door was divine mercy in disguise. Every no was a not yet for the sake of destiny. Every betrayal realigned you with your truth. But only if you choose to see it that way. Michael cannot protect what you keep running back to. Heaven can't heal what you keep hiding. Your honesty is the entry point for breakthrough. This is not about perfection. It's about permission. Permission for the Spirit to reorder everything. Even the things you thought were forever. There are gifts in you that you've dismissed as flaws. Sensitivity is not weakness. It's weaponry. Discernment is not paranoia. It's prophecy. Michael has been fanning your gift in secret. And now, it's time to walk in public power. But you must choose the higher frequency. You must disconnect from what feeds your fear. A TV show. That playlist. That person. You know what heaven's been pointing at. Now you must release it or risk spiritual deafness. If this message resonates with you and you feel moved to support, consider giving a super thanks with contributions of up to $20. Your kindness helps us bring more powerful content your way. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating via PayPal using the support here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. And if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel for regular prophetic guidance, deep spiritual insight, and powerful words that keep you aligned with heaven's rhythm. Type I am chosen to get the blessing 8088. Michael sees your hesitation, but he also sees your heart. Heaven has measured your longing and found it worthy. But your destiny requires agreement, not just emotion. Wanting change isn't enough, you must choose it. The Spirit has circled you with 7 sacred warnings, each night designed to pierce the fog around your mind. You weren't abandoned, you were being adjusted. Michael didn't retreat, He was repositioning you. He knows what's coming. He knows what must break. And now, heaven refuses to let you miss your moment. You keep revisiting what was never meant to remain. The past is a place of reference, not residence. But you build altars to old versions of yourself. And those altars are now being torn down in spirit. Michael has waited until you were weary of loops. Until you were tired of almosts and delays. Now the cycle breaking begins, but it will cost you. Not in pain, but in obedience. In sacred discipline. You can't carry yesterday into tomorrow's fire. You must walk forward without dreading dead weight. His final warning isn't a threat. It's a lifeline. A divine rope thrown to your soul before the fall. The fall into spiritual silence. Into non-existence. Michael won't force your hand, but he'll block detours. A job you didn't get. It was protection, not punishment. A delayed opportunity. A divine pause for realignment. You called it failure, but heaven called it redirection. Your tears watered seeds you haven't seen grow yet. But now, Michael declares, harvest is near. If you listen, if you obey, if you awaken. There's something ancient in your bloodline crying out. A vow unfulfilled. A promise interrupted generations ago. And you felt it in your bones without knowing why. A deep ache. A calling beyond language. You are not the beginning, but you may be the end. The end of silence. The end of compromise. Michael has come with scrolls bearing your name. The ink glows with heaven's fire and urgency. But you can't read the scroll while holding on to idols. This is a sacred swab. Veer for fire, comfort for calling. Some of you feel this in your dreams already. You've seen yourself walking into unknown rooms. You've seen yourself holding swords made of light. You've stood at doors labeled with dates and names. That's not fantasy. That's preparation. Heaven is rehearsing your spirit before the mission begins. Michael has touched your dreams with messages, but you keep calling them strange or irrelevant. It's time to take them seriously. Time to write, pray, and ask what they mean. Type I am ready to get the blessing 9292. The shift won't wait for your friends to understand. It won't ask permission from your past. It won't wait until you feel fully prepared. Because heaven equips those who move in faith. Michael isn't asking for your resume, just your yes. Your agreement will open portals. Your surrender will shut down demonic interference. Your yes will echo louder than your fear. You spent years hiding under maybe, but this is a final call for now. Some things will fall apart when you say yes. Not because you failed, but because they are no longer aligned. Michael will sever soul ties you didn't know you had. You will unravel comfort built on compromise. Because purity always disrupts what was tolerated. Don't mourn what heaven removes. Bless it, release it, and walk into firelight. You weren't created to blend in. You were designed to break atmospheres. Your awakening will cause offense, but also freedom. You are the generational door your ancestors prayed for. They didn't have the language, but they felt it. They looked into your future and whispered hope. And now, you are here, on the edge of fulfillment. Michael is not warning you from fear, but from fire. The fire ahead is holy, but it will consume dead weight. If you carry what heaven asked you to drop, you will burn in the friction of resistance. But if you walk in surrender, you'll blow in the flame without being scorched. Stop doubting your worth based on others' blindness. Michael sees you clearly, and heaven has spoken your name. He's seen your silent battles, your hidden intercessions. The nights you cried and called it weakness. They were not weakness. They were warfare. You've pierced darkness without even knowing it. But now you must pierce with intention. You must speak what you use to silence. This isn't about platform. It's about obedience. Heaven doesn't need performance, just presence. Type I am chosen to get the blessing 3636. You have been feeling heaven's pressure build for days. It's not anxiety. It's spiritual anticipation. Your soul is sensing that the unseen has shifted. Michael is no longer waiting behind the veil. He is standing fully in your atmosphere now. Every delay, every redirection was to get you here, to this intersection of surrender and strategy. You've cried for breakthrough but clung to barriers. Michael is not here to soothe that contradiction. He's here to sever it with divine precision. The fire you feel burning behind your decisions, that's Michael drawing your spirit toward obedience. He doesn't whisper now. He declares. The sword in his hand isn't for show, it's for cutting. Cutting soul cords tied to expired assignments. Cutting generational chains dressed up as loyalty. Cutting illusions you called stability. Heaven doesn't preserve what poisons you quietly. Michael is heaven's surgeon, and the blade is truth. Let it cut deep, because healing is on the other side. You will lose friends as you rise in obedience. Not everyone can walk into the fire and stay lit. But your calling was never voted on by others. Michael didn't check with your circle before this mission. Because this message is too heavy for consensus. Heaven chose you while others were asleep. You were awakened while others were being entertained. Your difference was not an accident. It was a marker. And now, the difference becomes your divine edge. The fire inside you must now burn on purpose. Each of the 7 nights carried a distinct message. But you heard them all as noise until now. Michael encoded truth in your interruptions. He sang warnings through silence and ache. But now that ache has turned into alarm. And your soul can't return to apathy anymore. The dreams that haunted you were actually help. The chills you ignored were confirmations. This is your last night to misunderstand them. The next move you make will echo into eternity. Heaven is waiting for a response, not a delay. There are angels holding blessings hostage to your yes. Not to punish, but to preserve divine timing. You can't walk into prepared favor with unprepared faith. Michael is releasing instruction, not inspiration. You've already been inspired. Now comes implementation. You can't just pray. You must partner. You can't just cry, you must commit. This is the hour to act, not ponder. The blessing won't wait for indecision. Type I am shifting to get blessing 6161. You're not just being warned, you're being anointed. Each time you felt rejected, heaven was realigning you. Every misunderstanding was divine camouflage. Michael hid you while he rebuilt your foundations. Now you feel exposed, and that's confirmation. Because light reveals what's been hidden too long. You were never created for quiet shadows. You were designed for bold illumination. Let the world wonder where you came from. You're rising from the furnace with heaven's mark. The people who left were never tied to your calling. Michael removed them gently, then forcefully. Still, you asked why they vanished without closure. But closure is a luxury heaven doesn't always give. Sometimes silence is the final word. And now, your energy must face forward only. The rear view is shattered for a reason. You've looked back long enough and called it reflection. But reflection has turned into delay. And delay, now, becomes disobedience. Your next steps must be intentional and pure. not driven by fear but anchored in obedience. Michael is still with you, but his message has shifted. No more gentle nudges, only final instructions. You'll feel discomfort in places that once felt safe. That's your cue. The grace has lifted there. When grace lifts, Michael moves. Follow his lead or lose your momentum. Spiritual windows don't stay open forever. This one is closing soon. Step in before it does. There are books inside you that haven't been written. Prayers you've been afraid to speak aloud. Gifts you've labeled too much or too strange. But strange is what this hour requires. Michael isn't calling the comfortable. He's calling the willing. He's not interested in your timeline, only your surrender. This final warning is actually a divine invitation to align with what has always been yours, to release what was never meant to stay. You rise while others still sleep. Type I am chosen to get the blessing 3636. The shaking in your life is not chaos, it's calibration. Michael is adjusting what's been misaligned for years. You felt it in the relationships that suddenly fell off, in the dreams that kept replaying without conclusion, in the rooms you once loved that now feel too small. All of it, sacred evidence that heaven is reshaping you. You can't move forward while chained to outdated roles. Michael didn't come to maintain what makes you comfortable. He came to ignite what makes you chosen. This fire is not a threat, it's a summons. You've prayed for peace, but ignored the process. And now Michael says, peace only comes after obedience. You can't keep entertaining spiritual noise and hear truth. The distractions you allow are louder than divine instructions. Every time you choose fear over faith, delay increases. The window is narrowing, not from anger, but purpose. What you tolerate now will become torment later, and what you obey now will become legacy. This is a divine fork in the road. Your hesitation could forfeit what was written. Michael has seen this cycle try to repeat in you. The same confusion, the same toxic ties, the same fear. It's not coincidence, it's generational. And you are the interruption hell didn't expect. That's why warfare increased when clarity came. Because confusion was the last defense of the enemy. But now your vision is clearing, and resistance intensifies. Michael isn't letting you go backward. A door is now locked from the other side. You can't return to what no longer fits your frequency. Your spirit is expanding too quickly for small rooms. The tightness in your chest is not just emotional. It's spiritual compression, your destiny pushing outward. The tension you feel is revelation in progress. Michael has surrounded you with signals, repeated numbers, unusual timing, sudden disinterest in old comforts. These aren't glitches, they're guidance. Heaven isn't random, it's intentional. You are being positioned with precision. But obedience is your only passport forward. You've been afraid of being alone, but Michael reminds you, isolation is preparation. Jesus had a wilderness. Moses had a desert. And now, you must embrace your silence. In silence, your spirit recalibrates. In stillness, your instruction becomes clear. You can't hear divine strategy over constant noise. Michael's voice is in the quiet, not to entertain you, but to equip you. Not to inspire, but to assign. Type I am listening to get blessing 1214. Your door's about to open that no man can shut. But they require a version of you that's refined. Not perfect. Refined. Not religious. Realigned. Michael's fire isn't here to punish your flaws. It's here to burn off what clings without covenant. You must travel light into the next dimension. That's why your hands are being emptied now. It hurts, but it's holy. It feels like loss, but it's legacy. You'll thank heaven later for the doors that didn't open. You'll praise God for the love that walked away. You're still thinking too small about who you are. Michael didn't fight through darkness to hand you mediocrity. Heaven's war for your soul wasn't to preserve average. You were never called to fit in. You were chosen to stand out. The ridicule you felt is recognition in disguise. Demons recognize light before humans do. And your presence irritates what's been hiding in shadows. That's why they talk. That's why they distance themselves. But Michael shields what he anoints, and heaven promotes what it protects. You will walk into places that once rejected you, not with bitterness but with brilliance, not with pride but with presence, because you endured what others would have quit. You stayed when your soul screamed to run. You rose when everything around you sank. Michael has seen every quiet moment of surrender. He's stored every tear in divine jars. Not one drop wasted. Not one night unseen. Your reward is not delayed. It's being refined. Heaven is calling for a full yes now. Not halfway, not eventually. Now. The seventh night marked the end of mercy's delay. Michael isn't knocking anymore. He's entering. And what happens next depends on your response. Don't wait for another sign. This is the sign. Don't ask for another confirmation. This is confirmation. If you've read this far, it's not by accident. Your spirit was summoned by this moment. This is heaven's final gentle instruction before the storm. Type I am chosen to get the blessing 3636. Michael has stepped beyond the veil for your sake. He is not visiting. He is standing guard beside you. Every breath you take now is under divine watch. Your home has become a battleground for your soul. The atmosphere is shifting, and you've felt it. You can't explain the chills, the sudden silence, the pause. But heaven has paused time around you, intentionally. Because what comes next is too crucial to miss. Michael is not asking anymore, he is activating. This is not preparation. This is positioning. You have asked, why now? Heaven answers, because delay ends here. You weren't ready before, not because you weren't willing, but because parts of you still clung to the old world. The part that begged for approval instead of alignment. The part that trusted routines more than revelation. Michael's sword has now severed those attachments. He's unhooked you from comfort disguised as connection. Heaven cannot release the next scroll into cluttered hands. You are being stripped down so truth can settle. You are being made new, not just made better. This moment has nothing to do with your feelings. Because feelings fluctuate, but destiny is fixed. You won't always feel brave, holy, or ready. But Michael wasn't sent to validate feelings. He was sent to guard the prophecy over your name. Even if your legs shake, your assignment remains. Even if your voice trembles, your power is still active. Don't mistake anxiety for failure. Your body is catching up to what your spirit already knows. This is the shift. This is the night you were born for. The heavens are watching your response right now. There are angels assigned, waiting on your agreement. They cannot override your free will, but they are waiting. Waiting to move, to speak, to unlock, to defend. Michael's wings are drawn wide over your name. The scroll is open. The next instructions are ready. But heaven needs your yes. A full yes. A final yes. You said maybe long enough. Now eternity demands a verdict. This is your spiritual courtroom. Choose boldly. You are the answer to someone else's prayer. Someone, somewhere, has cried out for deliverance. And your obedience, will unlock their miracle. Michael's assignment wasn't only about protecting you. It was also about preserving others through you. Your purpose is a domino in a sacred chain. If you fall short, the line behind you shakes. That's why the pressure is heavy, not to break you, but to build through you. Your obedience multiplies in impact. Type "I am aligned" to get blessing 7,878. You've tried to explain this urgency to others, but they didn't feel the fire like you did. That's because this message wasn't for the crowd. It was marked for you and you alone. Michael's words weren't a broadcast, they were a whisper with thunder behind it, a whisper encoded with sacred memory. Because your soul remembers what your mind forgot. You didn't stumble here by mistake. You were drawn here because destiny is calling. The spiritual winds are changing direction quickly. What made sense a week ago will confuse you now, because heaven is writing new language into your atmosphere. You must be willing to walk even without clarity. Faith doesn't always come with full sight. It often comes with sacred fog and divine tension. Michael will light one step at a time. You won't get the whole picture, just enough to move. But that move, it unlocks everything. This is the reward for trust. Stop doubting your discernment. It has protected you. That voice you silenced was your spirit speaking. That dream you ignored was heaven's blueprint. That interruption you labeled inconvenience was redirection. Michael isn't just showing you signs. He's showing you yourself. A version of you that was always chosen. A version that's not afraid to lose what doesn't fit. This next season will require that version. Step into it, or step aside. There's no more middle ground. The next 7 days are crucial. The next conversations are divine intersections. The next decision is a seed with spiritual consequence. Heaven has synchronized everything around your obedience. You won't feel prepared, but you are positioned. Michael has already cleared the path in the unseen, but you must walk in the natural. The miracle is in your movement. The breakthrough is in your next breath. This is your crossing. Don't delay. Type "I am rising" to get the blessing 5,678. Your spirit is being ushered into divine urgency now. There is no room for passivity in this season. Michael has spoken. The signs are aligned. The path is lit. But if you hesitate now, you invite interference. Delays are not just inconvenient. They are spiritual breaches. What was once a lesson has now become a warning. Heaven has shifted tone, not from anger but finality. Because your window is sacred, and it is narrowing. This moment is the intersection of calling and consequence. And Michael is standing at its gate. Your dreams have intensified because your purpose is near. They aren't just messages, they are movement. Heaven is giving you glimpses to prepare your posture, not to entertain your mind, but awaken your soul. The symbols, faces, and locations hold meaning. You must begin interpreting, not ignoring. Michael has left messages encoded in your sleep. They are the blueprints for your next obedience. Write them down. Pray over them. Ask what they mean. Because soon they won't be dreams, they'll be doors. You've been wrestling with fear disguised as wisdom. Overthinking has robbed you of spontaneous obedience. But Michael doesn't move by logic. He moves by heaven's rhythm. And now you must move with him, step for step. This isn't about understanding, it's about surrender. The fear you feel is a signal, not a sentence. It's proof you're approaching something powerful. Michael is not asking for you to be fearless, just obedient. Fear may walk beside you, but it cannot lead. Only faith is authorized to guide this next chapter. There are distractions now rising with renewed intensity. Old habits, old offers, familiar voices calling you back. But that is not comfort. That is spiritual warfare. Anything that tempts you to delay is a threat. Even harmless habits carry weight in the spirit. Michael is clearing your path, but you must close your doors. Doors through which confusion slithers quietly. This is not about sin. It's about surrender. Not above guilt, but above growth. You are being upgraded. That always comes with loss. You feel it now, don't you? The inner pull, the breathless expectation. You aren't who you were even a week ago. The shift is already in motion. Don't try to reverse it. Michael has broken chains you forgot you were wearing, and you're lighter now because of it. But with freedom comes responsibility. You are not just walking for yourself anymore. You are walking for the bloodline behind you. For every soul your obedience will unlock. Type I am ready to get blessing 6969. There are divine appointments awaiting your arrival. People you haven't met yet, but they've been assigned to you. Rooms you haven't entered, but your name has gone ahead. Michael has whispered your purpose into places of favor, but you must show up in full alignment. Partial obedience will not open complete doors. You cannot carry yesterday's compromise into tomorrow's release. This is why you felt the tension so deeply. You are stretching into a space that demands your whole self. No filters, no masks, no delays. Your voice will carry power it never had before, because it's been purified through fire and silence. Michael is releasing clarity into your speech. Every word you speak in alignment will activate atmosphere. That's why the enemy tried to silence you early, because he saw what your voice could unlock. But now, you are being unmuted in the spirit. The roar within you will echo through generations. Speak with boldness. Speak with authority. You are no longer guessing. You are declaring. Do not look for validation where you were once ignored. Those who rejected you weren't rejecting you. They were protected. Because not everyone is worthy of witnessing your rising. Michael has shielded your growth in secret for this reason. And now, your unveiling will be undeniable. You won't need to prove yourself. Your presence will speak. Your obedience will be your loudest announcement. The oil on your life cannot be replicated. Heaven will confirm you louder than any applause. Let Michael go before you. He's already made the way. This is not the end. It's your emergence. The old shell has cracked. The old season is clothed. You are now walking in revelation, not repetition. Every day from here requires intention. Wake up listening. Walk with discernment. Speak only what heaven permits. Move only when the spirit stirs. This rhythm will preserve you through spiritual turbulence. Michael will remain near, but you must remain ready. The next move will shift more than just your life. If this message resonates with you and you feel moved to support, consider giving a super thanks with contributions of up to $20. Your kindness helps us bring more powerful content your way. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating via PayPal using the support here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. And if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel for regular prophetic guidance, deep spiritual insight, and powerful words that keep you aligned with heaven's rhythm. Type I am rising to get the blessing 5678. You are now in sacred territory. Nothing is casual here. Every breath, step, and whisper has prophetic weight. Michael stands not behind you, but beside you now. He has drawn the circle of divine covering around you. This circle isn't just for protection, it's for preparation. What's ahead requires a posture that cannot be shaken. The pressure has increased because the proximity has changed. You are nearer to your release than you've ever been. That's why warfare feels louder, because breakthrough is closer. Heaven never shouts unless the veil is tearing. You are carrying momentum from every previous part. The instructions, the burning, the urgency, it's all connected. Michael has not repeated himself because of forgetfulness. He has done so to pierce through resistance. Your soul has been conditioned to dismiss divine nudges. But now, resistance is breaking under truth's fire. You've been called for more than survival. You were never meant to just endure. You're meant to influence. The territory your spirit touches is being marked. The ripple effect of your obedience is beginning now. Every place you once felt invisible will now recognize you. Not because you changed physically, but spiritually. Michael has upgraded your aura in the spirit realm. Demons will flee. Atmospheres will shift. Favor will find you, not because of charm, but calling. You've been anointed in obscurity to walk in authority. Now the hidden becomes revealed, as heaven intended. You are not the same person from 7 nights ago. That version of you was the seed. This one is the flame. And the flame cannot be hidden anymore. Be careful where you go now. Your steps are sacred. Not every room can handle what you carry. Some doors are wide but not worthy. Discernment must guide your choices, not convenience. Michael is opening select access, not general admission. Don't be surprised when certain paths are blocked. It's not punishment. It's preservation. You were not born to be everywhere. You were born to be exactly where heaven places you. Move accordingly, or risk draining your divine energy. The people you align with now will determine your momentum. Michael is not just shifting your position, he's cleansing your circle. You've outgrown those who settled for delay. Heaven is assigning partners, not just companions. Voices that confirm your fire, not extinguish it. Connections that expand your anointing, not compete with it. Let the old ties fall gracefully. They've served their time. What's next demands covenant, not comfort. Michael will stir hearts to walk with you in spirit. You won't walk alone, but you must walk selectively. AT.PM aligned to get the blessing 7,878. This isn't about a platform. It's about a mantle. You're not being elevated for applause, but for impact. Michael didn't decide for your fame and for your function. Heaven cares more about obedience than visibility. So if doors open, walk through in humility. If they don't, kneel in patience. Something greater waits. Do not compare your timing with another's. You are on a consecrated schedule. Your rise will not look like theirs, it will look like heaven. And heaven always moves with purpose, not pressure. There's still a part of you questioning, am I enough? Michael answers through fire, you are chosen. Not because you never failed, but because you never quit. Not because you knew the way, but because you stayed. Heaven doesn't select the flawless, it chooses the faithful. And you have endured what was meant to end you. You've outlived seasons meant to silence your light. Now the light is breaking out of you in waves. It will touch everything you do from this point forward. This isn't your potential. It's your promise unfolding. Repetition is revelation. That's why the signs won't stop. Michael will continue to speak until obedience answers. Heaven isn't interested in your excuses anymore. It wants your decision. Final, firm, fearless. Each yes you give creates room for the next. Each delay now becomes disobedience by default. You have heard enough. You have seen enough. The scroll has been read. The signs confirmed. And now, action must echo revelation. Heaven is waiting. The realm of spirit is shifting. Don't pray for more signs. Pray for strength to respond. Michael has already revealed what's at stake. The blessing is still available, but so is the deadline. You're not being warned again out of fear, but out of favor. This is divine mercy extending one last hand. Not to beg, but to bless, if you will receive. And receiving begins with action. This next step will be announced by thunder. It will come quietly, wrapped in decision. And your yes will unlock what your prayers have pursued. Type I am chosen to get the blessing 3636. Every word spoken until now has prepared this part. You are standing in the final stretch of the instruction. Not the end of your journey, but the end of delay. Michael has circled your atmosphere with divine clarity. No more wondering what the signs meant. You know now. You know the nudges weren't nerves. They were navigation. You know the losses weren't punishment. They were pruning. You know that every silence was sacred sharpening. So don't dishonor your progress by looking back. Everything ahead demands your full attention. The spiritual tension you feel is not a warning, it's a countdown. Heaven has been building toward this convergence moment. Michael has gathered angelic forces around your future, and they await your motion before they move. This is how heaven partners with earth, through obedience. God sends the wind, but you must raise the sail. The blessing is not delayed. It's just been waiting on you. Waiting for the full surrender you've resisted giving. That final yes that costs you everything you once clung to. That yes is your key. The final one. This is the phase where the unseen becomes visible. Michael is no longer whispering. He is commanding. And his command is this: do not return to the old. Do not revisit places God called you out from. Do not rekindle ties that heaven has untied. You are not confused, you are convicted. Your spirit knows what's real. Stop arguing with it. Stop negotiating with what weakens your fire. You were built to burn for something holy. The darkness has sensed your awakening. That's why distractions have grown louder this week. The familiar sins, the old texts, the sudden invitations. They are not coincidences, they are counterattacks. Because your obedience breaks more than personal cycles. It breaks strongholds woven through your entire bloodline. Michael didn't just fight for your peace, he fought for your legacy. So now you must fight by standing firm. Not with fists, but with focus. Not with striving, but with stillness and surrender. Don't confuse isolation with abandonment. Michael has pulled you away to purify your atmosphere. Some connections carry too much noise. Some voices weaken your discernment subtly. You couldn't hear God clearly while surrounded by confusion. So now that the volume is lowered, clarity will rise. In this silence, you will hear the next instruction. Guard it. Don't share it too early. Not everyone will understand what God whispered. Some things are meant to be birthed in secrecy. Type I am awakened to get the blessing 9090. You've already been tested. Now comes the trust. You passed the test of survival. Now step into surrender. The fire didn't consume you. It omissioned you. The pain wasn't pointless. It positioned you. Michael didn't fight for you to merely recover. He fought for you to rise in dominion. To take back every inch of territory your bloodline forfeited. To build what fear tried to destroy. To speak what shame tried to silence. To walk where doubt said you'd never go. Everything in your life is aligning for this hour. Your desires are shifting. Your vision is sharpening. Your energy is changing. Your mind feels rewired. This is spiritual preparation manifesting in physical form. Don't resist the unfamiliar. It's divine reformatting. Michael is preparing you to hold the blessing with grace. Not just to receive it, but to sustain it. To wear the mantle without bowing to man's approval. You walk with authority without needing applause. To lead with humility and fire. You are no longer hidden for protection. You are being revealed for purpose. Heaven is putting your name on scrolls of assignment. You won't need to chase platforms. They'll call for you. Because when you rise in obedience, doors respond. Michael is your foreigner. He walks ahead with fire. So let go of striving. Let go of proving. Let your alignment be your loudest introduction. Heaven does not promote noise. It promotes obedience. You are being elevated for impact, not attention. This word isn't just for inspiration. It's a contract. A spiritual document sealed in fire and mercy. You've read it in parts, but the message is one. Michael has tried for 7 nights, and now he's shouting. Because this is your last call before a shift so great, it will either propel you or pass you by, and heaven will not hold open what earth refuses. Choose now, because the spiritual current is swift, and those who lag in obedience will drift from alignment. The window is still open, but not for long. Type I am chosen to get the blessing 3636. Michael's voice now carries the weight of acceleration. He is not whispering hope. He's announcing movement. The atmosphere around you has shifted permanently. Everything that once stalled is breaking loose. Not because time changed it, but because you did. Obedience turned the lock. Surrender opened the gate. And now momentum is your companion, not hesitation. But don't confuse forward motion with ease. The fire is still present, not to stop you, but shape you. Refinement never ceases for the chosen. You will notice divine interruptions increasing rapidly. Canceled plans, delayed emails, shifted schedules. These are not annoyances, they are alignment tools. Michael is ensuring your path remains uncompromised. He is blocking what would have stolen your focus. Every no is holy. Every wait is woven with wisdom. You prayed for God's best. Now trust His edits. Heaven isn't just delivering blessings, it's preserving purpose. The instructions ahead require mental clarity. Distractions will cost you more than they used to. Your body may feel the shift before your mind does. Unexplainable energy, heavy sleep, sudden emotional waves. These are spiritual signals registering in the physical. Michael's presence affects more than your atmosphere. It restructures you internally for divine endurance. Your spirit is being upgraded to carry weightier revelation. What once drained you will now bounce off you. What once confused you will now come into focus. You are not weakening, you're recalibrating. Stay grounded. Rest when led. But don't retreat. Old temptations may appear dressed in new costumes. The enemy knows this is your launching point, so he's sending counterfeit offers at full speed. Michael warns, don't negotiate with distraction. Familiarity is not the same as faithfulness. If it takes your focus off the fire, it's a trap. Not everything sent to your door is from heaven. You must test every invitation with discernment. If peace doesn't accompany it, decline. Your alignment is worth more than momentary relief. You'll feel led to do things that make no sense. Elite contacts. Change your routines. To hard sudden pass. Don't second-guess the stirring. It's Michael's guidance. He's speaking in nudges now, not thunder. Because your ears are finally trained. You've matured beyond needing constant signs. Now, heaven expects movement without delay, obedience without confirmation, faith without applause. This is your proving ground for deeper trust. Type I am obeying to get the blessing 5252. People will begin to notice something has shifted in you. They won't be able to name it, but they'll feel it. Some will be drawn. Others will be repelled. Both are evidence that your spirit has ascended. You are not better. You are burning differently. And fire attracts and exposes. Don't dim your flame to keep company. Michael is aligning your circle by divine separation. Some losses are assignments in disguise. Let what fall fall. Let what remains rise with you. You'll be given specific names to pray over. Some known, others unfamiliar. Obey quickly. Michael is activating your intercession as a weapon. Your words now carry more weight in the spirit realm, because your alignment has unlocked a higher mantle. You've gone from being protected to becoming a protector. This elevation is not title, it's responsibility. Handle it with fire-wrapped reverence. Every word you speak now creates spiritual currents. Speak only what heaven authorizes. You're not being rebuilt for admiration, but for atmosphere. Wherever you go, things will shift without explanation. Rooms will quiet. People will confess. Peace will fall or conflict will rise. Because your presence is a prophetic disruption. Michael walks with you. His authority marks you. The realm of darkness cannot ignore what you carry. That's why resistance hasn't stopped. It's not punishment, it's proof. You are now walking alarm to everything unholy. In the coming days, you'll be called into sudden decisions. Don't delay. Don't overthink. Obey instantly. Michael is synchronizing your obedience with heaven's calendar. Timing matters now more than comfort. You won't get all the details, just the direction. Follow the fire. Follow the stirring. God will fill in the gaps as you walk. But you must walk. Faith without movement is fiction. His season only responds to bold obedience. Type I am rising to get the blessing 5678. Michael's sword has not left your atmosphere. It still hovers, not in threat, but in declaration. Your name has been sealed in flame and obedience. Heaven has finalized what was pending for years. You're not awaiting approval, you've been activated. The realm of spirit now recognizes your authority, and that means nothing will remain the same. You're not returning to normal, because normal expired. Michael did fight 7 nights for you to stay silent. You are no longer called, you are commissioned. You're not just in motion, you are in alignment. Alignment releases acceleration without explanation. Doors will open without effort. People will appear my purpose. Resources will flow from unexpected rivers. Because obedience always attracts supernatural ease. Not absence of resistance, but presence of momentum. What once drained you will now empower you. Where you once waited, you will now walk. Heaven responds to movement born of clarity, and you now move with fire at your feet. The dreams will return, stronger and more vivid. Some will scare you, others will leave you in awe. But all of them are scrolls, handed down in vision. Do not fear what is unfamiliar, seek interpretation. Michael will guard your sleep as heaven speaks. You are being trained even as you rest. The spirit realm never closes, and neither will your purpose. Your spirit is learning the language of midnight instruction. Write it down. Pray it out. Speak it aloud. Each image holds keys. Don't let them fade away. You'll feel a fresh hunger for silence and stillness. Noise will bother you. Crowds will exhaust you. Because your spirit now craves intimacy with the divine. Michael is shifting your appetite to prepare you. What once entertained you will now feel like clutter. Don't resist this new craving. It's holy. Solitude is not loneliness. It's divine incubation. This is where the next set of instructions will form. Your spirit needs space to carry revelation. Honor the quiet as the sacred altar it is. You are not who you were. Heaven confirms it. Your voice has weight. Your presence stirs atmospheres. You are no longer seeking validation, just alignment. Michael has torn off the garments of former seasons. You wear new fire now. It fits perfectly. It won't always feel comfortable, but it is correct. With fire comes function. With function comes fruit. This next walk won't require striving, only obedience. The heaviness is gone. The mantle has settled. And now, you are ready to release what was hidden. Type I am chosen to get the blessing 3636. Your posture will provoke opposition. Don't panic. Elevation reveals enemies who were once dormant. But Michael stands with drawn sword on your behalf. Nothing sent to destroy you will land. Weapons may form, but they won't finish. Because obedience secures heavenly intervention. You are no longer fighting alone. You never were. But now the covering is public, not private. The battle may intensify, but so will your discernment. You'll know what to fight and what to ignore. Heaven is now scheduling divine collisions. You'll be at the right place at the right time, often. Strangers will speak prophetically without knowing it. You'll enter rooms already prepared for your arrival. Michael has gone ahead of you in every detail. Do not doubt divine orchestration. It's already in play. Every interruption is sacred. Every redirection is prophetic. Heaven doesn't waste movement, and neither should you. Look for signs, but follow the Spirit. Trust the timing. It's been anointed. Your hands are being anointed for more than prayer. They are instruments of deliverance, healing, and blessing. Lay them only where heaven leads. You are not common, and neither is your gift. Michael guards the hands of those who obey. There's power in your touch when it's surrendered. Don't use it for performance. Use it for purpose. Your obedience has earned this impartation. Use it wisely. Use it quietly. Use it boldly. Heaven watches what you build next. Every part you've walked through was preparation. Not one paragraph wasted. Not one sentence filler. This has been more than words, it's been warfare. More than reading, it's been realignment. Michael has led you through fire into fullness. You've obeyed the nudges, endured the weight, and crossed through divine refinement with courage. Now the commission rests on your shoulders, and heaven will back you in every step. But you must keep moving. Keep burning. Keep listening. Type I am rising to get the blessing 5678. This is where the message completes, but the mission begins. You have walked through every word, every fire-apt sentence, not as a passive reader, but as a chosen vessel awakening. Michael didn't whisper for 7 nights just to inspire. He roared so that you would rise. This was never a warning out of fear. It was mercy wrapped in urgency. Heaven has done its part. Now earth must echo back with obedience. The final call has gone out, and you have heard it with clarity. There are no more delays to hide behind, no more confusion to blame. What once felt like chaos now stands revealed as divine orchestration. You have passed through revelation into responsibility. His final part seals everything the Spirit spoke. Michael no longer stands at your gate. He walks beside you now. His wings are your shield. His sword cuts paths before you. You no longer wait, you move. You no longer question, you declare. You are not emerging, you have emerged. Let every false identity fall away. Let every familiar fear burn. The version of you heaven sees is now ready to walk forward. Not someday. Not soon. Now. From this point on, your decisions must align with destiny. You'll see things others can't, sense shifts before they speak, and discern what isn't said. That's the mantle you carry now. It's not for show, it's for souls. Use it in silence. Use it in strength. Use it in surrender. Let your yes echo in rooms your voice never reaches. Because heaven is watching, hell is trembling, and the earth is groaning for the sound of obedient ones to rise. You are among them now. Walk like it. Speak like it. Live like it. Michael's work in you is not finished. It has just matured. This wasn't a series of parts. It was a divine appointment. Now the scroll is sealed. The fire is in your hands. The next chapter is not written with ink, but with action. Heaven waits to watch what you do next. Let it be holy. Let it be bold. Let it be now. If this message resonates with you and you feel moved to support, consider giving a super thanks with contributions of up to $20. Your kindness helps us bring more powerful content your way. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating via PayPal using the support here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. And if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel for regular prophetic guidance, deep spiritual insight, and powerful words that keep you aligned with heaven's rhythm. Type I am sealed to receive the blessing 8888. You are chosen. You are ready. You are rising. Michael is with you. And heaven is watching. It is finished, but only just begun.